that 1 hour. You ready? All right, first and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Kakadash.
double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to the hopeful elect of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. With the GMS Mississippi camp coming in once again, week in, week out, to prophesy the downfall of Babylon the Great, which is America. And not only Babylon, but 2/3 of our people as well. Bro, can I get that, going to a lesson, Isaiah 34, let me get Malachi 1 and 4, before 1 first.
All right, this Malachi 4 and 1. It says, "For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven. All the proud, yea, and all that do wickedly shall be stubble."
So the day coming that should burn as an oven, man. Meaning it's gonna get real hot, but the instrument that's gonna make it burn as an oven is gonna be those thermonuclear missiles that Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai got set forth for the latter days, man. And the most proud is going into you Edomites, man. You know, you Babylonians, man. And the wicked of our people gonna be left stubble out here, man. Burnt to a crisp, man, to ash, man. You know.
And the day cometh that cometh, and the day that cometh shall burn them up, said the Lord of hosts. And it shall lead them neither root nor branch.
So you're gonna be burnt to ash, man. You know? Let me get that Isaiah 34, 13 is correct. Start go from the top.
This is Isaiah chapter 34, verse 1. It said, "Come near, ye nations, to hear, ye people. Let the earth hear, and all that is therein, the world, and all things that come forth of it. For the indignation of the Lord is upon all nations,
I want to say the Lord's righteous anger, man. You know, his wrath.
and his fury upon all their armies."
I'm going into the military that's gonna be gathered, and how he's gonna burn them. You know, they lift up the they try to go to war with him, man, when he comes. With that 2 Ezra chapter 13.
He will utterly destroy them. He has delivered them to the slaughter.
Deliver them to the slaughter. Going into these militaries and, like I said, 2/3 of our people. You know?
We read that in the NLT, verse 2, Isaiah 34 and 2 NLT. "For the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai is enraged against the nations. His fury is against all their armies. He will completely destroy them, dooming them to slaughter."
And the reason being because this is all for the controversy of Zion, how the scriptures go into, because all these other nations that we see in league with Esau, Edom in today's time, they all had, that was all part of our fall as the Israelites, you know? So they're going to have a whole part of that by Yahweh Ba'ashem Ashad, going to hush it. I say he's going to muster the host of the battle, bring them over there to the so-called Middle East, and that's where he's going to lay a lot of them desolate, you know?
And the scripture stated that he's enraged, meaning he's very angry, extremely upset.
Because
What you did to his nation,
Uh-huh.
his people, and most importantly, what you did to his son. Because you Edomites, you're the same people back in ancient Rome. You all were Edomites. You Grecians, you were Edomites, or you Greeks rather.
And the Lord brought you back. You nations brought you back for you to get your judgment, man. You know, because these nations, they wasn't judged for what they've done to the children of Israel, or like you said, Yahweh Shai, man.
Verse 3 NLT, "Their dead will be left unburied, and the search of rotten bodies will fill the land. The mountains will flow with their blood." Verse 4 KJV, "And all the hosts of heaven shall be dissolved."
Let's hope that in the Middle East, right? Where we at?
Isaiah 34, 3.
No, it's America. It's a lot, bro. Run that back there.
Where's all of it? It's the war that's gonna take place across the whole earth. And like I said, he will utterly destroy all their arms. But like I said, it's going back to the U.S.
Just going back and forth. Because what got me when you read that,
The host.
we never talked about how the bodies, because in the Middle East, that goes into how we're gonna have our servants will have their continual employment. Because it's gonna be a lot of dead bodies over there. I think that's in Ezekiel 38 chapter. Just to back me up with the water, bro.
This is Isaiah 34 and 3. KJV and the NLT. Their slain also shall be cast out,
Right.
and their stink shall come up out of their carcasses, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood. And,
This is the effect of WW3, man.
verse 3, NLT. Their dead will be left unburied, and the stink of rotten bodies will fill the land. The mountains will flow with their blood. Verse
So how you know it's going back and forth is because, look, America is no stink, right? America is going to be utterly destroyed, but you're going to have bodies over there in the Middle East that needs to be buried. And that's what these Edomites are going to do, as well as these other nations, man. Back on you, bro.
Verse 4, KJV, and all the host of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll, and all their hosts shall fall down, as the leaf falleth off from the vine, and as fallen fig from the fig tree.
So those thermonuclear missiles, man.
Yeah.
That mushroom cloud.
That's right. That's right.
Right, because when the mushroom cloud go up, it look like it goes up into the heavens, which is talking about the sky, man. And it's gonna look like a roll. That mushroom cloud actually look like a scroll being rolled together. You know, because before they used to roll the scroll out to read it, it'd be rolled together. It'll be rolled together, and that's what Isaiah was describing, what he saw as in the days turns he was living in. So it looked like the heavens being rolled together as a scroll, which he saw that mushroom cloud going up.
That's a health benefit to the earth because it's going to soak up all the impurities around the earth. As it says, how the earth is defiled under the inhabitants thereof. So that's a part of that mushroom cloud is going to soak up all the impurities.
And then when they say all the hosts of heaven falling to the earth, like the stars going to the satellites, on warp planes, them space shuttles, all that's gonna start once the mushroom cloud go up and then that wind go out, that nuclear wind, everything gonna start to, it's gonna clear all the trees out. Right.
They're basically occupying the heavens.
Huh.
It's Isaiah 24 and 19. And it says, the earth is utterly broken down, the earth is clean dissolved, the earth is moved and seen.
Right.
Going into the impact, right, of those missiles when they touch down, man.
Get the scripture too where it says your road to move to and from like a drunkard. That's the same chapter.
Verse 20.
It's
not verse 19.
It said that's the same verse.
Oh no, that's in
to and from like a drunkard.
verse 19.
It's probably around 21 or 22. Yeah, just read on down.
All right, so it says, Isaiah 24 and 19, the earth is utterly broken down, the earth is clean dissolved, the earth is moved and seen.
Right, we can go with
Earthquakes, man. Yeah. Them different earthquakes from, like I said, the missiles touching down here, Babylon the Great in certain areas in the earth.
Yep. And one thing about fire is a cleansing agent. Just like water was throughout the first death, so the second death, the Lord's going to flood the earth by nuclear missiles, by fire. And it says, the earth should reel to and fro like a drunkard.
You ever seen a drunk man? He's not stable. He's wobbling. He's going left to right. You think he's about to fall, then he'll maintain his balance just to, stumble again. And that's what the earth is going to do. It's going to go back and forth.
And you can look up. You can look up clips where they test missiles, and they had a camera, and it'll show you the earth be reeling to the camera be doing this. The camera be rearing back and forth. They might test a nuke in the mountain. You know what I'm saying? But they had a camera a distance away, and it'll show the earth reeling to and fro like a drunkard, like a brother going into.
Yeah, that's it.
You got it.
That's it.
The earth should reel to and fro like a drunkard, and should be removed like a cottage. In the transgression thereof,
Removed out of his place, his position, because from that impact the brother's going into.
and the transgression thereof should be heavy upon it, and it should fall and not rise again.
And this is why, man, just like the Lord brought the flood, because what he say, every thought of man was wicked, the earth was full of violence. So this why he gonna bring that fire, man. Matter of fact, while you still there, go up to verse 5 in the NLT.
It's Isaiah 24
You got it, bro.
and 5. It's like you connected me.
Okay, come.
Isaiah 24 and 5. The NLT, the earth suffers for the sins of his people.
See, and this is why, man, the earth suffered for the sins of the people, the inhabitants who run the earth, man, which is Esau, Edom. He uplift wickedness on the earth. He's so wicked, he didn't even let the food grow naturally. All of a sudden, he want to create his own crops. This is how, but it goes back to the curse that was put on Cain. The earth don't yield its fruit to Esau. You know, he didn't understand the mindset of the land Sabbath or none of that. He didn't understand the mindset. He didn't understand the mindset really of the laws, statutes, and commandments that the Lord gave the Israelites. And the other nations had it to some sense. You know what I'm saying? They knew it. You know what I'm saying? They knew about the good and the evil. Cause you hear the other nations like China, Japan. You know, they know there'll be references to good and the evil. You know, the conditions of heaven and hell. But Esau, Edom, even though he references, he leaned to one side, which is wickedness. Man.
That's right.
Real quick, since you said that, Psalm 50 and 16, but unto the wicked the Most High said, what hast thou to do to declare my statutes, or thou shouldest take my covenant in thy mouth, seeing thou hatest instruction?
Right, so they claim America was a God-fearing country, you know, in God they trust. So what does the wicked have to declare the Lord's statutes in his mouth? Which is Esau, Edom, you Edomites, which is you so-called white people who is Edom by blood, which you understand some of our people look like y'all, but you know who you are by nature and by blood, man, especially going to the elite banking families. They know who they are. You know,
It's a hypocritical nation, man.
Come.
And casted my words behind thee.
And it show you how they cast the words behind it, but it prophesies that in Daniel the 7th chapter. It told you it would twist it, you know what I'm saying? Right, get that in Daniel 7, bro. With, I guess around verse 23 in the NLT.
I'm gonna do that too.
You got to do that?
I got the boot over there.
7 and 23.
So back again in Isaiah 24 and 5 in NLT, the earth suffers for the sins of his people,
Right.
for they have twisted the Most High's instructions.
See, this why, man, they twisted the Most High's instructions, man. You know, now it's trans everything, you know. Until they wanted to be merged man with machine via their charisma, man. That's what this whole trans is all about. Getting out of the natural ways of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, and Esau Edom creating his own way, his own kingdom. He offered up his own sacrifice, going back into Cain. He never offered up what Adam taught him to. He went to doing things his own way. That's why the Lord said rebellion is as the sin of what? Witchcraft. Go ahead, bro.
And it says, the Most High, he had twisted the Most High's instructions, violated his laws, and broken his everlasting covenant.
Broken his everlasting covenant. Go ahead. Going to the earth, the curse on it.
Verse 6, therefore a curse consumes the earth.
See, so that's why it's uproars of the people. That's why these heat waves coming, earthquakes, weather out of control, which Edom is controlling, but he got everything, like get there in Psalms 82 where it say the foundations of the earth is out of course. All through his so-called technology, he got everything out of course. He got the jet stream out of course. He putting chemtrails in the earth. You know, he manipulating. His whole thing is to manipulate everything the Most High created. And the number one thing he want to manipulate is the creation of man and woman. You know, mainly the Israelite man and woman, because all the power lies within us. That's why the Lord said the kingdom of heaven is within us. So all the power, it really lies within our insides. That's why they are constantly studying us and studying us.
So 87 and 2?
82 with 7. Wait, we start at the top on 82. Go get some more to that angle, bro.
Back in Isaiah the 24 chapters, like in the 5th verse in the NLT, says the earth suffers for the sins of his people, for they have twisted the Most High's instructions.
Right, who twisted the Most High's instructions, man? Which people done this, man? We didn't do this. We didn't have the power to do this. Remember, we was in captivity, getting slaughtered for reading. You know, you'll get beat half to death for reading, but when you got caught reading the Bible, you was put to death, or you was blinded. So this is during the time. Why you think when Esau showed up on the shores of what they call the Americas, he had his army, but then after he subjugated the people, he had what you call missionaries, to where they was twisting the Most High's laws, then twisting the images, you know, and twisting the meaning of everything, you know, and only teaching. They was teaching scriptures to only to keep our people in subject to them, because a lot of our people think. Where they was reading that Bible to us in slavery, they had something called a slave Bible, which 90% of the Old Testament wasn't in there. So like scriptures we going into now, they was never getting read to us, because that scripture that Nat Turner read was Psalms 149 and 5, where it said, right, you know. Right, come.
That's how you know the so-called Native Americans are the biblical Israelites, because back in that time frame, the boarding schools, they had a quote, kill the Indian, save the man.
Mm-hmm.
So they used to use that vibration to our people, man. You know? All right, so back in Isaiah 24:5, it says, the earth suffers for the sins of his people, for they have twisted the Most High's instructions, violated his laws, and broken his everlasting covenant.
Right, man. Now they saying it's okay to be whatever you want to be. Obey your thirst. And they twisted the Most High's instructions, man. And we gonna go into the history of who was prophesied to do that. And Lord, we might go into the history of when they go into the people who done it, man. You know, because like you said, that man of sin had to be revealed. And then he gonna be taken out of the way. You know what I'm saying? So he have to be exposed, he have to be revealed, you know. Yep. That's it on that up.
Verse 6. Therefore a curse consumes the earth. Its people must pay the price for their sin. They are destroyed by fire, and only a few are left alive. And few is representing the hopeful elect out of the nation of Israel. And 2/3 of our people, along with these other nations within America, they're going to be a part of that great sacrifice that's going to be made within Basra. So what the Lord's doing, he's going to offer up a great sacrifice, and that altar represents America. And 2/3 of our people, along with these other nations, they're going to be made as sacrifices upon this great sacrifice within America. That's why the scriptures go into how the slain of the Lord shall be many. You know?
Zephaniah 14:12.
You have something right here?
I'll get this in. Well, get that and get Psalms 82 real. I get that in Psalms 82 real quick. I want to see what the story is then. Because that's what it's like. Because see, people have to understand it's a nation of people. We're gonna go back to what the brother started with, Isaiah 34 too, man. You know, and these nations have to be identified. You know, because they hear who we were. You know what I'm saying? According to Psalms 83, these same nations hear who we were, so that our name won't be no more remembered. Because once we remember who we were, that's where our power lies, man. You know, our power lies within our heritage and our culture. And the Lord gave us these laws, statutes, and commandments for a heritage. You know, so this is what protect us. This is what lead. This is what, because it said the performance of the law lead to immortality. Go ahead, bro. Start at the top on it.
Psalms 82, you want in the KJV?
Yep.
In the KJV, it says Psalm of Asaph, said the Most High standeth in the congregation of the mighty, he judgeth among the gods.
Right, man. He judges among the gods, man. You know, go ahead, the nation. Where the gods go ahead.
It said, how long will ye judge unjustly?
So Esau, Edom, how long will you judge unjustly? And this go for our leaders too. How long will you be sitting side by side with Esau, Edom, and judge unjustly? Because our leaders never touch on the real issues, mainly our pastors, man, that affects our communities, the Israelite communities. You got it, bro.
It said, how long will you judge unjustly and accept the persons of the wicked? Salah.
See, and accept the persons of the wicked. Go ahead.
It says, defend the poor and fatherless.
This is what it's all about, man. And the whole nation of Israel became the poor and the fatherless, man. Go ahead.
Do justice to the afflicted and needy.
Right. We in the so-called Negroes, Hispanics, Latinos, the Native Americans, man. We the needy. Go ahead.
It says, deliver the poor and needy, rid them out of the hand of the wicked.
This is our job, man. To rid our people out of the hand of the wicked. And right now we only know it's that chosen elect that's gonna be rooted out of the hand of the wicked. But eventually the whole nation is gonna be rooted out of the hand of the wicked. You got it.
It said they know not, neither will they understand.
Right.
They walk on in darkness. All the foundations of the earth are out of course.
Right, man. So all the foundations of the earth is out of course now, man. This is why everything is. This is why the animals dying off. You know what I'm saying? Don't know what to do. You know. This is why the people are in the mindset they in. Because the scriptures tell you, because iniquity shall abound, the love of many gonna wax cold. You got it, bro.
It says, I have said you are powers, and all of
Read,
you.
we are gods. No, say it right.
I have said you are gods,
We are gods, man. This talking to the Israelites right here, man.
and all of you the children of the Most High.
Right. And we are the children of the Most High, but what?
But you should die like men,
Right, man. So we've been dying like men.
and
So
fall like one of the princes.
right, man. Go ahead. I know you want to say something on there, bro. Right. But now we is learning how to get back to that God state, learning how to be gods again, man. You know, because we went from gods to kings to servants.
Because all of us went off, man.
Right.
So we were brought to a lower state, man.
Oh.
Yep. It says, arise.
I was speaking like you think about how I said how the earth is out of discourse because they got a shortage. They talking about like a seafood. So that's because you eating up all these abominations, but you leaving them out of their natural habitat, out of their natural ecosystem.
We're throwing the filters of the
Yeah,
earth.
exactly. So let this say he'll go in the news talking about some shortage of seafood, so he'll hike the prices up on seafood.
It says, arise, O power, judge the earth, for thou shalt inherit all nations.
Right, man. And we gonna inherit all nations, man. Via under the rulership of Yahweh Shai, man. But we gonna be joint heirs with Yahweh Shai, man. This is what we was born to do. Get that in Daniel 7, start at verse 15.
Daniel 7 and 15. Did you put that in the KJV?
Matter of fact, bro. Start at verse 9.
Verse 9 in the KJV.
No, because you're gonna have to start at the top, bro. Let's start at the top. We ain't in over us.
In the first year of Belshazzar, king of Babylon, Daniel had a dream and visions of his head upon his bed. Then he wrote the dream and told some of the matters.
Right.
Daniel spake and said, I saw in my vision by night, and behold, the four winds of the heaven strove upon the great sea.
Right, because Daniel's vision is coming to pass now. That when Daniel saw the stone cut without hands, strike the whole beast down. This is the time that we in, man. So go ahead, bro.
It says, and four great beasts came up from the sea, diverse one from another.
Right, man. Go ahead.
The first was like a lion and had eagle's wings.
And this represents the Assyrian Babylonian Empire right here. Go ahead.
And I beheld till the wings thereof were plucked.
Right, which the Assyrian Empire rose first and took the northern kingdom into captivity. And then the wings was plucked up, and then the Babylonians arose and took the southern kingdom into captivity. Go ahead.
And it was lifted up from the earth and made stand upon the feet as a man, and a man's heart was given to it.
Right, because this going into which we're gonna go into. It's gonna go into the breakdown of the vision. Go ahead.
It says, and behold, another beast, a second, like to a bear, and it was raised up itself on one side.
It's the Medo-Persian Empire, which the side it was raised up on was the Persian side of the empire. It was the strongest. Go ahead.
They showed you that on 300. You don't really get too much about the Medes.
Right.
You heard more about the Persian. They were more exalted and strong at that time.
It says, and it had 3 ribs in his mouth, of it between the teeth of it, and
Talking about the kingdoms it took down.
Right.
Egypt, Lydia, Babylon.
And they said thus unto it, arise, devour much flesh.
Right, man. And that's and like the brother said in the movie 300, you see how the Medo-Persian Empire went around. They was taking out everybody, man, until it was time for the Greeks to come into play. Go ahead.
It said after this,
This showing you like the start of all the empires that arose on the earth and rose up with great militaries, you know, and what did all of them have in common? Man, they always came to take the Israelites down, man. You know, they afflicted the Israelites. But go
they
ahead.
said they
Bro.
all had a hand in the scattering of the Israelites.
Right.
from the like you said, from the Syrian all the way down to the Romans.
That's right. Huh.
It says,
And all these nations on earth today, and like the brother started off with in Isaiah 34, they got armies right now, man. They got greater armies now than they had then because the technology is greater. And now the Lord finna finally utterly destroy all of them, man. You know, and they weaponry, and they finna be in subjection to the Israelites forevermore. Go ahead, bro.
This is verse 6. After this I beheld, and lo, another like a leopard, which had upon the back of it 4 wings of a fowl.
Which the leopard represented Alexander the Great, Alexander the Greek, which this going to the Greek Empire, and the 4 wings on his back represented the 4 generals that ruled in his stead after he died, man. Go ahead.
I appreciate it. First Maccabees 1:1. And it happened after that, Alexander, son of Philip, the Macedonian, who came out of the land of Chittim, had smitten Darius, king of the Persians and Medes, that he reigned in his stead the first over Greece.
And this is why the Apocrypha is so important, man. For people who don't believe in the Apocrypha, well, you would never understand Daniel's vision. You would never understand the vision of when the leopard came in.
Yeah.
You know, the Greek Empire. You would never. Where's the history of that at? In what they call the Apocrypha, which is a part of the original 1611 King James Bible.
The reason why the Greek Empire was considered as a leopard, because a leopard is very powerful, forceful, and swift. You know, so when Alexander came in control, he took over extremely fast, like a strong young leopard.
And 4 generals, Lysimachus,
There you go.
Cassandra,
There you go.
Ptolemy,
There you go.
and Seleucus.
There you go.
I think
Seleucus.
yeah, Seleucus.
Yeah.
And about the Seleucian Empire, I think they used to wear a leopard skin helmet.
They did. They
They
did.
know about their leopard.
They did. But they say the scriptures ain't real though.
Right.
Back on you, bro. I just had to bring that up.
It said the beast had also 4 heads, and dominion was given to it.
The elder just broke that down.
Which get it. Get the 4 generals. It's going right into it. Yeah.
This is
Go
First
back
Maccabees,
and forth with it.
verse 3. You know what? Let me start at 2.
No.
And he made many wars and won many strongholds and slew the kings of the earth.
So this real history, man.
Yeah.
The Bible is a history. It's a prophetic book. It's a history book. It'll show you the creation of everything you see on the earth, including man. You know, animals. You know, it go into the whole origin and history of everything you can see with your eyes and what you can't see, man. It goes into the origin of the history of it, man. It's going into these different. It was prophesied that these different kingdoms was gonna rise. We're gonna go into America coming up. You know, go ahead.
Verse 3. And went through to the ends of the earth and took spoils of many nations.
And everybody-
on that side of the earth,
You
if I
got
may
it,
add,
yeah.
elder, on that side of the earth.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? On that side,
Right.
the eastern part of the world at that time frame. Back in First Maccabees 3:3, and went through to the ends of the earth and took spoils of many nations, insomuch that the earth was quiet before him, whereon he was exalted and his heart was lifted up.
All right, man. So what it say? His heart is lifted up in him. Is not upright in him. Going that Habakkuk 2. So his heart was lifted up, man. Alexander got that pride, like, just like Esau even has that pride today. Go ahead.
But he-
Go ahead. You
But
got
he showed the Israelites love though, because basically he had a vision that a Levite priest was informing him of who he was in that dream in the book of Daniel.
Oh.
So based on that, he showed the Israelites love. He still let us basically be able to do our sacrifices, keep the laws, statutes, and the commandments. We didn't catch hell until who came into power? Antiochus, man. I mean, just, you know.
Yeah, go ahead. Just get down to them 4 generals.
Yeah, back in verse 4. And he gathered a mighty strong host and ruled over countries and nations and kings who became tributaries unto him.
Right, man. You know, and everybody know the history of who the so-called white man called Alexander the Great, man. His history right here in the Bible, and it's gonna go more into it. This is why they pulled. This one of the reasons they pulled the Apocrypha out of there, because it's like when the so-called New Testament starts, it starts with the 4th king, that 4th beast ruling. Where's the history of the 3rd beast ruling when it came into power? Right here in what they call the Apocrypha, in the book of Maccabees. You got it, bro.
Back in verse 5. And after these things he fell sick and perceived that he should die.
Alexander was a homo, man. And these homos be the ones out here spreading all these damn sicknesses and diseases, man. A lot of diseases start from that alphabet community, man. You got it, bro.
Verse 6, wherefore he called his servants, such as were honorable, and had been brought up with him from his youth.
And like the elder went into his 4 generals, man.
Mhm.
Because his son was too young at the time to rule, man. So his 4 generals took the rulership. You got it, bro.
And parted his kingdom among them while he was yet alive.
Come.
So he parted his kingdom in 4 ways.
All right.
So Alexander reigned 12 years and then died.
Right.
And his servants bare ruled everyone in his place.
Go ahead. And what happened?
Verse 9, and after his death they all put crowns on themselves,
Right.
so did their sons after them many years, and evils were multiplied in the earth.
So when you so-called white people took rulership, because you always link your kingdom back to Alexander the Greek, it's talking about this when civilization started. When y'all came into power,
Yeah.
evil and wickedness was multiplied in the earth.
Hey, so, bro, get Malachi 1 and 4 for him, bro.
It's Malachi.
You can't get around the scriptures, man. And it's been like, and this has been your personality, your behavior going all the way back to the garden. Because think about it, hey, Cain received the laws, statutes, and the commandments just like Abel. But he was the wicked, and that was the reason why he refused to obey. And when that prophet spoke to Cain in the name of the Most High, what did he say? A sin will lie at your door. You can't get right.
You're a servant and tool.
Yes, right. That's on you, bro.
Malachi 1 and 1. The burden of the word of the Lord Yahweh to Israel by Malachi. I have loved you, said the Lord Yahweh, yet ye say, wherein hast thou loved
Because
us?
at this time frame, we catch so much hell. And before this knowledge, you wouldn't understand that. Because, hey, you'll be sitting on the couch looking like old dog. Hey, what old dog say to, shit, I forgot the damn movie. But basically, he didn't believe in the Most High because he was catching so much hell. And a lot of Jacobs out there in that same mindset because they don't know. That's
Also,
it.
Boys in the Hood.
Oh, yeah.
Dope boy that was in the car.
Yeah.
The 6'4".
Yeah.
He was like a
Star
guy.
Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why you know pretty much why you put us in this predicament?
Because we went off, though, boy. We went off in the spirit.
You know that?
Yeah.
It's cute. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, you know.
So I have loved you, said the Lord Yahweh, yet ye say, wherein hast thou loved us? Was not Esau's Jacob's brother?
Right. And this is the Most High coming back. Go ahead.
Said the Lord Yahweh, yet I loved Jacob, and I hated Esau, and laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. Verse 4. Whereas Edom said, we are impoverished.
So what happened during the rule of the Dark Ages? Esau came back into power, hence the Renaissance. Rebirth of what? Them coming back into power. Because remember, that snake had to eat the dust for a small season, for an allotted time. And once that allotted time was over, that snake came back into power. And what's the symbol of the pagan Roman Empire? The serpent, a snake. They showed you that on Spartacus. Go ahead, bro.
That's why when you do a quick Google search, you look up God, you know, the Messiah, biblical characters, you see so-called white images now.
That's it.
You know? So it says that's part of a term called iconoclasm.
Meaning what? Destroying the
Destroying
image.
images, yep.
That's right, bro.
Verse 4, whereas Edom said, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate
We're
places.
going to get back on top. Go ahead.
Thus said the Lord of hosts, they should build, but I will throw down.
Meaning what? They have rebuilt, but the Most High is going to throw down again, but this time forever by the hand of Yahweh Shah. Right? Go ahead.
And they should call them the border of wickedness.
Border in the Hebrew going into territory. So no matter where these people are located on earth, right, that entire area can be classified as the wicked. Go ahead, bro.
And the people against whom the Lord Yahweh had indignation forever.
Anger, righteous anger forever. Why? Because the Most High is righteous and Esau is the fucking wicked. Right? Did not the Most High through that prophet state to Eve, the serpent, and Adam, I will put enmity between your seed and thy seed forever. And it's playing out on earth. Now that was the ancient time, so we're in the end of Esau's rulership. And that's more proof to prove that the Most High's word is solidified, is valid.
The Lord said he declared the end from the beginning.
That's
He
right,
was
bro.
declaring the end, even back in doing that right from the
Right.
beginning.
That's right. And it's Malachi 1 and 4 in the NLT. Esau's descendants in Edom may say, we have been shattered, but we will rebuild the ruins. But the Lord of heaven's armies replies, they may try to
Read
rebuild.
it from the top again, bro. It's a lot.
Malachi 1 and 4 in the NLT. Esau's descendants in Edom may say, we have been shattered, but we will
See, but I want him to read that because it says Esau's descendants. So this going into the nation. You know, how people with Esau, that's talking about, you know how them damn church guys be trying to say this and that. No, this is descendants. His descendants is still here. Read it again,
That's
bro.
right.
Esau's descendants in Edom may say, we have been shattered, but we will rebuild the ruins.
And this is what they did, man. This is what you see of the ruins, man. You see America, you see Europe, you know. They rebuilt, man, because we had them in captivity for 1,000 years. They was pushing to the Caucasus Mountains for a certain amount of time, man. You know. You go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
You know, we see ancient Roman pillars right in front of us.
Right.
You know? It says,
And Petra, it got Petra built up just like that, man.
And when you type, how do you type in times times of what now? Yeah, that's it. I'll think about that shit all the time.
but the Lord of heaven's armies replies, they may try to rebuild, but I will demolish them again.
We're going to demolish y'all again. This time it's going to be for good, okay?
Hey, what's that old Brian McKnight song, Back in One?
Right, man.
Their country will be known as the land of wickedness.
And America is their country, should be known as the land of wickedness, man. This is why all the other nations, especially the Middle East, they call America the Great Satan. They know what America, and now North Korea show videos of their arms destroying America, and guess what they say? The evil empire is destroyed. They constantly show videos of their armies, man. And they call America the evil empire, man. And I was watching Ip Man, I started watching Ip Man for the first time. And then Ip Man 2, one of the Moabite guys was like, they would call them the Edomite came over there and box real good. They would call them the Euphorian devils, man. That's what they was calling them in the movies, man. Go ahead, bro. And a lot of them Chinese guys are Israelites, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Cause they was like in the movie, he was going into the difference between Chinese martial arts and so-called Chinese martial arts and so-called Japanese martial arts. He was breaking down like the Ip-Man was breaking down the reason why the Japanese will never be able to understand and beat them because they whole martial arts is built on treating their neighbor as they treat themselves. That's what he even said, treating your love and your brother as you love yourself. So you know, that's Israelite culture. That's Israelite custom right there, man. You got it, bro.
It says their country will be known as the land of wickedness.
And in order to be a Salak, in order to be a Shaolin monk, you can't be no thief, you can't commit adultery, you know what I'm saying? It goes to the law, statutes, and commandments, man. Salak, bro, go ahead.
And their people will be called the people with whom the Lord is forever angry.
And read verse 5 in the KJV. So this is the people whom the Lord is forever angry with. We're going to wipe them out of the way. Go ahead, Obadiah, the first chapter tell you why, man. Because he lifted, go ahead, bro, go ahead.
Verse 5 in the KJV. And your eyes should see, and you should say, the Lord Yahweh will be magnified from the border of Israel.
Now the Lord is being magnified from the border of his people, man. We the border wherever we at, man. So the Lord is being magnified in the midst of the elect of his people right now, man, where you see these camps at, man, these altars in Egypt, man. See, this is for a sign and a wonder to let everybody know the Lord is worshipped in this wicked land called America.
That's right. The people make the land, not the land makes the people.
So when 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, I know you're really missing.
Right.
Hey, yo, you made a point about how, Esau tried to say that, or the pastors are saying Esau didn't have no descendants. This is Ecclesiastes 4:16. There is no end of all the people.
Right, man. There is no end of all the people, man. And we know Esau had descendants because we was fighting them constantly. We was constantly at war with them, man. When we led out of Egypt, Amalek was the first nation who we had war with.
Blocked the highway.
Right. This was a descendant of Esau, man. Well, I think one of the grandsons or something. You got it, bro.
That's a cut by saying the Edomites are done away with. Second Ezra, the 6th chapter, where Esau is the end of the world.
Damn, that's
so he's
right.
gonna be here in these end times.
That's cold cuts.
Right.
Ecclesiastes 4:16. There is no end of all the people, even of all that have been before them. So going into your fucking forefathers. Esau the progenitor, because through the process of reincarnation, everybody comes back around the 3rd and 4th generation.
Right.
Right?
And to add to what the brother's saying, the book of Obadiah lets you know though, it's gonna be an end to Esau when this come around. There's gonna be no survivor remaining of the house of Esau. But that's his punishment, that's his judgment for the way he handled the Israelites, man.
That's right.
You know?
So after 1,000 years, during the development stages of the kingdom of heaven, what's going to happen? We're going to collect them together and burn them up. So when they go to the spiritual realm and remain up there until the 3rd or 4th generation, they're going to come back as a Moab, Moabite, an Ammonite, Ishmael, but never an Israelite. Because remember, there's no destruction of the spirit, but they will never walk around as Esau ever again, like the elder stated.
Pale skin,
That's
Right.
it.
that's gonna be wiped out, man.
Yeah, that was a highlight from the Most High to let us know who the wicked was, man. Back in Ecclesiastes, and when you go into that mark in Genesis the 4th chapter, it tells you a distinguishing mark, meaning what? You lack melanin, you lack pigmentation.
I had it. Go
What
ahead.
Isaac say when he saw him?
Ashashwa.
Bro, this brother was talking to me the other day. You know how hot it's been? Man, he was around the Edomite. He like looking at, he like the man's skin was just boiling, bubbling, man. And yeah, shit was bubbling. I'm like, I ain't never seen it in person.
Look like jarring pig feet.
Right, man. He said she was just, he ain't never seen it, but he like his shit was just bubbling, man. I'm talking about like you boiling some. But the reason why, see, that's why I tell you, they know, like Esau study our bodies and know what's in us. See, Esau has sulfur in his body. That's why when it's 20 degrees, he can run with his shirt off, how there's sulfur rising in his body. He warm on the inside.
Russians.
Yeah, right. He got sulfur, and he got a certain amount of sulfur in his body,
Damn.
which we don't have, man. But that's why they study our body. They want the melt. They trying to get everything we got because our body is equipped for this world, and our body equipped for this, man. When we came here, man, you got it, bro.
I mean, finish it all back.
That's why they want that melanin so bad, though, man.
That's right.
That's why they want it.
Right. Ecclesiastes, back in Ecclesiastes 4:16, they also that come after shall not rejoice in him. Hey, this day and this time frame, now you trying to say that Esau has no descendants. But imagine once we get into the kingdom of heaven, you're going to be so mad at your fucking forefather, man. Like, we are in this position because he was the wicked, which makes you the wicked. You know? All right, back in the scripture, because when it comes to your forefathers, you're supposed to be proud of your forefathers, such as King David and King Solomon, so on and so forth. Gideon, right? Ecclesiastes 4:16. Surely this also is vanity and vexation of spirit.
Oh.
Back on you. Maybe we'll get back in the future. We won't teach him over here.
That would be.
Back in that Daniel.
Daniel. All right.
Where the four wings,
All right.
going cause that's
Daniel
what
7
it's
and
about.
7.
Oh.
Daniel 7 and 7. And after this I saw in the night visions, and behold, a fourth beast, dreadful and terrible, and strong exceedingly.
So what's the four beasts?
Roman Empire.
That's it. The pagan Roman Empire. That's right, bro. That's right.
We go back to the leopard, go back, read that verse. Yeah,
Verse 6.
it's right there, yeah.
It
That's what you just went into.
Yeah,
I want
I
to
mean,
link
you
it.
good,
Yeah,
you
come.
Verse 6 it said, and after this I beheld, and lo, another like a leopard, which had upon the backs of it 4 wings of a fowl. The beast had also 4 heads, and dominion was given to it.
And all of that is saying is symbolic talk goes his 4 generals. Symbolic talk for his 4 generals.
Right, so if you read this, and you don't have that apocrypha what the brother just read,
Yeah.
where's the history of this happening? Of this Daniel prophecy? So, see, show you the churches don't understand. They don't understand prophecy. But Revelation 19 and 10, the spirit of the testimony of Yahweh is the spirit of prophecy. Okay? So you got the true testimony of who the word Israel called Jesus Christ, you will be going into the prophecy. You will understand the prophecy. Go ahead, bro.
Matthew 13:52. Then said he unto them, therefore every scribe which is instructed unto the kingdom of heaven is like unto a man that is a householder, which bringeth forth out of his treasure things new and old.
So you gotta jump back and forth from the Old Testament and the New Testament. The Old is referring to the Old Testament. The New is talking about the New Testament, but guess what? We must include the Apocrypha. Yahushua said, I come in the volume of the book. That's everything, including the Apocrypha, man.
Right. And he declared the end from the beginning. The Old and the New Testament say the same thing. In order to get the New Testament, it was written off the Old. And you going back and do the history, it's saying the same thing.
Yeah.
When Yahushua walked the earth, man, he was quoted from the so-called Old Testament.
Isaiah.
Especially Isaiah.
Because that's why the Lord said, ain't nothing new under the sun. So this wasn't nothing new. You know what I'm saying? It was just being refreshed. It's just, you know what I'm saying? It was being refreshed. It was being renewed. And it was being, more edification was coming out. The understanding was coming out. See, you have a shot. Go ahead, bro. What you
I was
saying?
saying it was being reiterated.
Right.
You know, from the knowledge from the old time was being expressed more, and more understanding was given to it.
Because Yahushua broke those seals of the book. See, when he broke the seals of the book, now all the process of the Old Testament started to be understood, man. He was, go ahead, bro.
And at this time frame.
Right.
See,
It started then.
It started then.
Right.
Here,
You got it.
no, I'm thinking of you.
It started then and leading up to now,
That's
man.
it.
You know? Because the men was just writing in. That's Daniel ain't understand.
That's right.
Theirs just
That was
ain't
the point.
understand.
That's the point.
You know, we told them, look, in the end you gonna understand them. And now we all understand that,
That's
man.
it, bro.
You know? Because the spirit of the prophet is subject unto the prophet.
That's it.
Go ahead, bro. You,
Thank-
what you okay, go ahead.
Daniel 7:7. And after this, I saw in the visions, in the night visions, and behold, a fourth beast, dreadful and terrible, a strong and exceedingly, and it had great iron teeth.
Right, which going into the ancient Roman Empire.
Right. He had a strong, he was known to have a strong military, man.
It says, and it devoured and brake in pieces, and stamped the residue with the feet of it.
Because of his military.
And it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it.
Why? Because it had a senate,
And
just
it-
like Japheth. And they got that ideology or that concept from Japheth. Go ahead, bro.
It's First Maccabees 8:1. Now Judas had heard of the Romans that they were mighty and valiant men.
Edomites, so-called white people, based on the lineage of their fathers. But guess what? The reason why they were so mighty and valiant men, because it was their time to rule. Go ahead, bro.
And it says, and such as would lovingly accept all that joined themselves unto them,
Mm-hmm.
and made a league of enmity with all that came unto them.
Mm-hmm.
There's a point in verse.
Because these other nations want to join them. Why? Because they were ruling, just like in today's time.
Yep.
All these other nations want to jump on, excuse my language, Esau's dick because he's ruling. He's ruling.
Verse, go down to verse 13. Also that whom they would help to a kingdom those reign, and whom again they displaced. Finally, that they were greatly exalted, yet for all this none of them wore a crown or was clothed in purple to be magnified thereby. Moreover, how they had made for themselves a senate house.
A senate house, and they got this concept from Japheth, the so-called Hawaiians.
And this proves today that America, under the guise of EU and NATO, are the ancient Roman Empire all over again. That's why you see them with their Senate and their Congress, you know, and they have to make decisions according to that. One man can't make the decision.
Yeah, because I think the what was it? The Treaty of Rome.
Yeah, the Treaty of Rome.
Yeah, the Treaty
That's
of
what
Rome.
it was the Treaty of Rome before it became NATO,
Yeah,
man.
it birthed the EU.
Right, it birthed the EU and NATO, man.
That's right, bro.
When you go to the word senate, it goes into council or elders.
Right.
And you got that foreign, what's it called? Foreign council?
Right. Foreign councils on relations.
Yeah.
So before the Roman Empire came into play, each one of the empires before that, whatever the king said, that went. There wasn't no checking with no Senate or none of that, man. You know? So before the Roman Empire, and this proved today that America is that Roman Empire, America with the EU, you know what I'm saying, and NATO is the Roman Empire rebirthed all over again because it's the same setup. the Congress and the Senate. That's it on that.
Yeah, there's a little bit more. Moreover, how they had made for themselves a Senate House wherein 320 men sit in council daily, consulting a way for the people to the end they might be well ordered.
Right.
And they committed, in that, verse 16, and that they committed their government to one man every year.
Right.
The so-called president.
Yep. Back then it was the Caesar.
The Caesar.
Right.
You know, it translated to the president.
That's it.
Because before then it was like a monarchy
Right.
type of government.
Right.
So this time frame, you know, it's like what's that? They go by like democracy.
With democracy comes.
You know, where they talk about the people got to so-called choose or elect. You know,
I
the
think that's what
president.
demo means. Democracy goes into the people.
And it says, and they that committed their government to one man every year, who ruled over all their country, and that there were obedient to that one, and that there was neither envy nor emulation among them.
That's how they set things in order from their Senate. From their Senate, you had a so-called Caesar. So if we were back in that time frame right now, the so-called Joe Biden would be classified as a Caesar, elected from the Senate. You know? You know?
Daniel 7 and 8.
Because even going to Pontius Pilate, he was just the governor, man.
That's right.
But it was Tiberius Caesar who was running, who was over him, man. You know, go ahead. But they still had this Senate. They had to listen to it. And the Senate was behind the scenes, was always the guys who really had the money. You know, who controlled them. You got it, bro.
Because even now, on my repeater point.
Like I say, you know which was Caesar, man. That's why he say running to Caesar, which was his.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah. Even now the president can't make moves. You know, he has to get permission from what, the cabinet, right?
Right.
He has to get permission from the cabinet. He just can't make a move, and we know the elite controls that, but according to their protocol, the president has to get signed off on as well.
The board said this back in 1931. Woodrow Wilson, he said, since I entered politics, I have chiefly had men's views confided to me privately. Some of the biggest men in the U.S. in the field of commerce and manufacturing are afraid of something.
And notice how that whole Titanic thing, it just done went to sleep. Why? Because the truth started coming out about it, man.
Yeah.
And he was a president during that time. And his main advisor was trying to get him, he ain't know one of his main advisors was working for the elites. And he ended up listening to him, man. But like he said, they was always coming to him behind the scenes, but he wouldn't go with it, man.
And if I can add, Elder, they also stated that, I forgot the 3 names of these guys, but anyway, they were actually on the Titanic, and they want to go against the so-called money system
Right,
at the time.
yes.
You
Right.
know?
Right. Jacob, it was
Yeah.
Jacob Ashtar.
Yeah.
I forget the other 2 names, but like the brother was saying, man, because like the brother was saying, they all had the meeting in Europe, which J.P. Morgan is the one that built the Titanic.
Was it Jekyll Island?
Right. Well, that was the meeting they had to do the Federal Reserve.
Okay.
Right, but
You had Benjamin Guggenheim, Isaac
That's a
Strauss,
Jew.
yep, and John Jacob Astor.
right. So these was 3 of the richest guys in America at the time, man, and they disagreed with creating the Federal Reserve.
That's
man.
right. They opposed it.
Right. So on the way back on the Titanic, which you had the Rockefeller, you had J.P. Morgan, them, all them got out at the last minute, man.
Oh, they were on there?
Yeah, they was on it. They got off at the
Right.
last minute and sank the ship.
Niggas should have known.
Right, see they rolled, but they probably ain't know. He probably ain't even know they wasn't even on there.
Hey, what they doing?
Right. And that's why they sank that ship though. And right after that, man, you gotta realize what was happening at that time. World War I was started. I gotta get it right. It's either months after the Federal Reserve was started or before, man. All this happened in correlation within a year, man. You know, World War I, because the Federal Reserve was started to get America in debt to the international bankers so they could control America,
That's
man.
it.
And John Jacob Astor, he was the guy Victor Newman played from. What's that show?
Young and the Restless.
Young and the Restless. That was John Astor. And I want to say Isaac Strauss. Remember that old couple at the end was hugging each other? That was him and his wife. That was that couple right there. Yeah, they put it in the movie. I had watched
I say I want to go watch that movie too and see what they gonna actually throw in there.
They
You
got
got
some
it, bro?
deleted scenes on there too, man. I would check it out.
Really?
On Google it says Federal Reserve System founded. It said Owen incorporated modifications by Woodrow Wilson and allowed for the regional Federal Reserve System to operate under a supervisory board in Washington, D.C. Congress approved the act and President Wilson signed it to law on December 23rd, 1913. So that was before World War I.
Right. It was like I think it was like 8 months before World War I started, man. You know, and World War I started I think 8 months before that, man. And then all of a sudden the Federal Reserve came, you know, and once America entered the war, they got them in debt to the Federal Reserve, and the Federal Reserve, they've been controlling America ever since then, man.
And that's the purpose of wars, people.
Right.
To enslave the government, which would in return enslave the people.
Because then, after this Federal Reserve was established, got
That
something.
was actually a month after World War I was established. A month before the Reserve was established.
So it was a month before.
A month before, yeah.
See, a month before, man. You see how everything lined right up, man. You know, and then what happened after that though? Like World War I started 13, ended in 18. It was a 5-year war, and then what do you have after that? The Great Depression. So now the international bankers figured out a way they want to collect all the gold from the Americans. You know what I'm saying? They wanted to collect all the gold from the Americans, and then you had the stock market crash, the Great Depression.
That's when they buy up everything.
Right, man.
When the prices are low.
Right.
When they said with blood in the streets.
That's right.
Right.
They signed by.
And then what was founded from that, like 8 years later, because they was funding Hitler, because they even during this time, the early 1900s, you had all the Western nations, they was funding them German scientists to come up with weaponry, man, with new technology and weaponry. So one of the things they was funding them for is Europe was on the brink of starvation. So the scientists figured out a way to extract nitrogen from the earth. Nitrogen is what makes everything grow. So this really was the beginning of them learning the GMO process, man.
Hitler was a Rothschild.
Right.
An illegitimate son of a Rothschild.
Yep. So notice how, and then this also was the start of going into the processed food, because all the processed food started from them creating food for soldiers, whether they had to make the food last when the soldiers on the battlefield. Just what, like how they got them MREs where this food will last, but that's where the whole is right. This is where the whole processed food began, man. It's all this was. It's all goes back to the military industrial complex, man. They started this processed food with having food that'll last while the soldiers on the field. Then they introduced it to the regular market of people and a way to save money and you know what I'm saying, to preserve food, even up into this day until now, man. The microwave was created for the same reason, man. It was all a military thing for a quick, fast way to warm something up. You know what I'm saying? Where they can fight it and where they can eat and go right back to war, man. What you had something like? Right. Go ahead, bro.
It's back from Woodrow Wilson.
But this all going into the history of you damn Edomites, man. You know what I'm saying? You vessels of wrath fitted for destruction, man. Leading right up into, now you think you're gonna put the capstone on your pyramid, which is putting that Quran in everybody, man. And I, matter of fact, I had a vision last night, bro. I was in Whole Foods and I asked the clerks in Whole Foods, is people using this? They like, yes. They like, yes. Huh? Yes. And then I had a vision last night of people using it. I was seeing it, you know what I'm saying? Was using it, man. I'm like, there you go, man. So everything right at the door, man. You know?
So Woodrow Wilson, he stated this, I think he had a book called The New Freedom. In 1913, it says, since I entered politics, I have chiefly had men's views confided to me privately. Some of the biggest men in the U.S. in the field of commerce and manufacture are afraid of something. They know that there is a power somewhere so organized, so subtle, so watchful, so interlocked, so complete, so pervasive, that they better not speak above their breath when they speak in condemnation of it.
Right, and that's what got Kennedy killed, man. You know what I'm saying? He spoke out against these people, man.
Yeah.
You know, this is what got Kennedy out, bro.
Kennedy, he had to be Abraham Lincoln. Because, you know, Abraham Lincoln opposed the, what was it? The Greenberry. So Abraham Lincoln got shot in the back of his head, and then Kennedy's wife blew his head off.
There's a lot of parallels between those two.
Yeah, a lot of parallels between the two. Back in Daniel,
Daniel chapter 7 and verse 8. It says, I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them another little horn.
Right. This little horn goes into Daniel saw when America being established as a power during the Renaissance. Man.
yeah.
It said, before whom there were 3 of the first horns plucked up by the roots.
Who was that?
You got it.
Spain, France, and Britain.
Right.
But remember, America came out of Great Britain. That's why she's also identified as the mother of America in the scripture. That's what you know.
Right.
It says, and behold, in this horn were eyes like the eyes of a man, and a mouth speaking great things.
And let's go into their presidents. Right? Because the presidents have the so-called rule over this corporation. That's what that means, man.
Got you, bro.
Go ahead, my man.
It's Jeremiah 50 and 31. Behold, I am against thee, O most proud.
Right, who's the most proud? America. America is the most proud because this prince has been on top for so long. Right? Go ahead.
Saith the Lord, power of hosts, for thy day is come, the time that I will visit thee.
Right. Revisit meaning what? The Most High is about to judge you for your wickedness, for your whoredom. Go ahead.
Verse 32, and the most proud shall stumble and fall, and none shall raise them up.
Meaning what? Once the Most High throws this bitch down, she'll never, ever get back up.
And I will kindle a fire in his cities, and it shall devour all
And
around.
that's nuclear destruction. Destroying everything. The cities, such as New York, LA, Jackson, New Orleans, Las Vegas, Washington, Philly.
So our scriptures call it the line of confusion.
That's right.
Verse 9, it said, I beheld till the throne was cast down.
See, so Daniel, he watched until all these thrones was cast down. So Daniel seeing the vision, he just right, man. He don't understand. Just imagine him seeing this, man. He just right, man. You know, go ahead.
That's why he will wake up sick.
Right, man.
He will wake up sick.
Daniel had to fast for 3 weeks, man. Especially when he saw what was going to happen to us, man. When he saw the condition the Israelites was going to be in, he felt like the brother said, like he fell sick for 3 weeks, man. Go ahead,
And
bro.
he knew he was going to come back.
Right.
Reincarnation.
Right.
What Eric to say, woe is me.
Yeah.
That's that spirit Daniel was in that,
Yeah.
woe is me. Who going to deliver me in those days, Lord? Go ahead, huh?
It said, and I beheld till the throne was cast down.
Right.
And the ancient of days did sit.
See, the Ancient of Days, which is Yahweh, man. You know, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, man. The Ancient of Days. So Daniel beheld until all these thrones was cast down. And the Ancient of Days did sit. Go ahead.
Whose garment was white as snow.
His garment, that's describing him, man, because he a spiritual entity, but guess what? He a physical entity too. Go ahead.
There's a body.
And his hair of his head were like the pure wool.
So it's describing his hair and his head, man. You know, so he got a body, okay? Go remember when Abraham, remember when Moses wanted to sin, what he tell you? I just let you see my hinder part. That fleshly body can't see, he says, you gonna melt, what? You know what I'm saying? You know, cause this fleshly body it ain't perfect, man.
Now, you know that was the house side.
So that was the outside? Okay, come.
But he came in the name
He
of
came-
his father.
right,
so,
right,
You know what I'm
right.
saying? But he looks just like his father.
That's right.
So the elder's still right.
What did your house I tell Philip?
Elder Gabar,
Yeah.
Gabar School.
Right. What did your house I tell Philip? I've been with you so long. When Philip said, show us the Father.
That's it.
I've been with you this long time, you don't recognize me?
That's it.
Basically, huh? What he said, you got it coded right
I
up.
said, hast thou not known me?
Right, huh?
And go to the word wool. You look up the Winston Simplified Dictionary that came out in 1919. It says, as of a Negro.
That's who?
As of a Negro.
Hands up a Negro, man. So-called Negro. Right. You got it, bro.
It said, his wheels is burning fire.
Going into those chariots, man.
Right.
Go ahead.
It says, a fiery stream issued and came forth from before him.
Right, because when Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai, when he send Yahweh Shai back, man, it's gonna be thermonuclear destruction, man. That fire coming before him, he coming with fire too, man. You know, go ahead, bro. What it say he should come? What it say he should get that Isaiah 66 and 15? Go ahead, though, bro. Yeah, get that real quick. That's the end of that. Finish that verse.
It's a fiery stream issued and came forth from before him.
Come.
And thousands ministered unto him.
Right.
And 10,000 times 10,000 stood before him. the judgment was set and the books were opened.
We're gonna get that in the NLT too. Go ahead.
Isaiah 66 and 15. For behold, the Lord Yahweh will come with fire.
See, he gonna come with fire. So like I said, this that fiery stream that gets you before him, man. Cause he coming with fire also. And it's gonna be World War III on the earth, man. The missiles gonna be hidden. You know, he gonna come right in the midst of all that. Go ahead, bro.
And with his chariots like a whirlwind.
See, that's him, that's those wheels he was talking about. And with his chariots like a whirlwind.
The
Man.
Bible is like a puzzle, man.
To render his anger with fury and his rebuke with flames of fire.
See, to render his anger with fury and his rebukes with flames of fire, man. Go ahead, bro.
Luke 12
Let him finish
49.
that. That's the end of that verse. Okay,
Can
come
I
on.
pick it up? Lay on back. Luke 12 and 49. I am come to send fire on the earth.
Well, you gotta get that in there. We gotta get that in. Read it in the KJV. You don't gotta let him get it in there.
Go ahead.
Read it in the KJV.
So Luke 12:49. I am come to send fire on the earth.
Right.
And what will I if it be already kindled?
See, and this was Yahweh Shai. He was so mad, he wanted it to happen right then, man. The disciples too, man. He tell you, they kept asking him, Lord, you would this time restore the king unto Israel? You got it, bro? What's that? Set the world on? Ain't that what it say? Come on.
Luke 12:49 NLT. I have come to set the world on fire.
You hear this? And this is why I say a fiery stream issued before him, man. He coming to set the world on fire.
And why do you think Donald Trump wanted to invest in the Star Wars project? Why do you think Ronald Reagan said if we were attacked from an outside source, when we come together as a people, they understand these scriptures?
That's right.
And it says, and I wish it were already burning.
He wished the world was already burning.
Because remember, Yahweh Shai, that incident of Yahweh Shai coming off the cross, it only happened 2 days ago.
It's fresh.
That's fresh. If somebody beat your ass or stabbed you or punched you or tried to run over you 2 days ago, that's still on your mind.
Outside, they the true get back game. You know?
Get that, that what, you gonna get some more to that?
I had one linked over the fire.
Go ahead.
It's Habakkuk 3 and 3. And it says, the Most High came from Teman, and the Holy One from Mount Paran, Salah. His glory,
What is that?
Habakkuk 3 and 3. It says, the Most High Yahweh came from Teman, and the Holy One from Mount Paran, Salah. His glory covered the heavens,
Right.
and the earth was full of his praise.
His glory, what it say? He should come in power and great glory, man. Those chariots, man, he gonna come in. He gonna, when Yahweh Shai come, man, just imagine the whole skies, because we're gonna go back to this, where it say millions upon millions ministered unto him, talking about the angels, man. And what did it say? Enoch prophesied of millions coming with him, man. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 4. And his brightness was as the light. He had horns coming out of his hand.
That's that power, man. That's that concentrated heat, man. See, Yahweh Shai coming with laser beams, man. With this heat that just, it's concentrated, it's so concentrated, it just disintegrates everything. See, regular fire, it catches it on fire, and then it has to burn up. With that laser beam, it just turns you into a pile, it just disintegrates you, man.
And they showed you that on that Tom Cruise movie. Right. When
Right.
they got struck with that concentrated fire, immediately they became dust.
You saw the camera on the
Right.
Yep. So it says, back in Habakkuk 3 and 4, it says, and his brightness was as the light. He had horns coming out his hand, and there was the hiding of his power. Before him with the pestilence and burning coals went forth in his feet.
There you go.
Pestilence is a disease. And a disease is symbolic to destroy you, man. It's symbolic for destruction.
Yep. Verse 6, he stood and measured the earth. He beheld and drove asunder the nations.
Meaning what? He split them in half. Everybody running,
Yep.
ripping and running. So you're fighting another man, and all of a sudden you see this big gigantic fathership coming into the earthly realm.
Let's back you up. Psalm 110 and 5. The Lord at thy right hand shall strike through kings in the day of his wrath.
That's it. Man, that's the judgment of Yahweh through his son Yahweh Shai.
You know you got to slow this down. Oh, yeah. No, thanks.
This Habakkuk 3 and 6. This is the end of it. He stood and measured the earth and beheld and drove asunder the nations, and the everlasting mountains were scattered. To show you that mountains are government.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
And the perpetual hills again, another form of government, smaller government,
That's it.
did bow.
That's it.
What they had, the G10 summit?
Yeah.
What's the top 10? What is the G8, G8 and G7 summit? These are the top richest governments in the world, man, which the summit is the peak of a mountain.
That's it, bro.
Right, you got it.
His ways are everlasting.
Go back to where now. You got it, bro. Give it to me.
The second is 13. The second is 13. I guess I start at the top. They said, and it came to pass after 7 days, I dreamed a dream by night, and lo, there arose a wind from the sea, that it moved all the waves thereof. And I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven.
So that sea is talking about the heavens, as Jehoshaphat is entering into the earthly realm from the spiritual realm. When it talks about in the book of Psalms, how he bowed the heavens, that's talking about how he's leaving from the spiritual realm, entering into the earthly realm. That's bowing the heavens.
Because what is that in Revelation 15 where it said we was in the atmosphere like a sea of glass,
Yeah.
looking down, going to just to make
Yes,
it point of the
that's
sea.
it. That's it.
Oh.
That's it, bro.
And when he turned his countenance to look, all things trembled that were seen under him.
Right, and that's now remember, like the elder is saying, that basically when Yahushua comes back, he's coming into the midst of WW3. So now everybody that's fighting each other on land, they're gonna start looking up.
Right.
Pilot's gonna try to swerve out the way and shit because of intense fear. But guess what? Go ahead, bro.
It said, and whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burned that heard his voice.
And that voice out of his mouth is symbolic for concentrated fire, and that's why they burn. Go ahead, bro.
Like as the earth filleth when it filleth the fire.
That's right. So just like how the earth gets down when it feels the fire, that's how these people, as well as whatever machinery they're in, they're gonna feel the fire.
They're gonna be turned into down back to dust, man.
That's it.
Yep. It says what they say, ash to ashes, dust to
I
dust.
was just thinking that, man.
The dust we should return to. Yeah, and their ass gonna be literally turned back into atoms, you know. It says and after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number
That's right.
from the four winds of heaven to subdue the man that came out of the sea.
WW3, which is also foretold in what Joel the 2nd chapter.
That'll be Yehoshaphat.
Going
That's
back
right.
into what Daniel said, he beheld until the thrones was cast down.
A stone.
Right, and that stone going to that stone cut
On
without
the
hands. Right.
It said, but I beheld, and lo, he had graven himself a great mountain, and flew upon it.
Now he's coming back inside of a fathership. Now this fathership is so gigantic, it's spoken of in Isaiah the 6th chapter, it can open up and release smaller ships from it. That's how big this ship is, man.
That fulfills the prophecy in Revelation, the 1st chapter, how every eye should see him.
Yeah, and since you said that, and don't be surprised if Yahushua comes and that ship covers the entire America and everybody gets beamed up into one ship. Because remember, the scripture said a cloud. That's singular. That's the type of technology that the Most High is working with.
I received him under the sun.
That's it.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's that same cloud when we left Egypt. Remember how was
Yeah,
no, that's speculation.
that makes sense.
Yeah, he can turn the whole sky into like a holographic thing where every eye can see him.
That's
He is
right.
the manipulator of the elements.
Right.
So the people that's currently blind right now, they're gonna be able to receive their eyesight in that time frame, man.
They didn't go get struck.
She said, but I would have seen the reason or place whereout the hill was graven, and I could not.
Right, it was so big, he couldn't see how it's, all he could see the starting point. He could see the width part of it, and he could see the end of it. He's just telling you, all I know this motherfucker's big.
Not his mother.
Ah, Salaki, man, my bad. All I know that this fathership is big.
And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were so afraid.
That's right.
And yet there's fight.
Meaning why? Because the Most High is going to put the spirit on them to contend his son, but they're going to die.
It's for that show, man.
That's it.
That great showdown.
To make it a fight. To make it a fight.
That's why I say you must fear the host of the battle.
That's it. If you muster something, it means I control it, I create it, I'm composing it.
It's my platform.
It's my platform.
It said, and lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, He neither lifted up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war.
He just pressing buttons. That's all he's doing. That's where that concentrated fire come out of. Go ahead.
But only I saw that he sent out of his mouth, as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath.
Those are laser beams. Go ahead.
And out of his tongue he casted out sparks and tempests.
Laser beams. All of that is symbolic for laser beams.
And as they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight.
Because it was utterly destroying them. I mean, immediately after they get contact, they're dead. All you see is dust. Go ahead. Bro.
And burned them up every one, so that upon a sudden of a innumerable multitude, nothing was to be perceived, but only the dust and the smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid.
And this, you can also equate this scripture to how John the Revelator saw. Go ahead, bro. Because it only makes sense that Daniel came back as who? John the Revelator.
This is Revelation chapter 19, starting at verse 11. And I saw heaven open.
Right.
And behold, a white horse.
Right. And the heaven opened, that's Yahweh Shai leaving the spiritual realm, leaving the third dimension, the fourth dimension, the third heaven, coming to heaven. Water, bro.
I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse.
That's right.
He that sat upon him was called Faithful and True.
Right, and that's Yahweh Shai because he's controlling this white horse, which is symbolic for a chariot. Go ahead.
And in righteousness, he doeth judge and make war.
Right, and that's the reason why he's making war on behalf of righteousness. Why? Because the world is so fucking wicked based on the leadership of the Edomites.
They say wickedness has greatly polluted the earth.
That's right. That's right.
His eyes were as a flame of fire.
Right.
And on his head were many crowns.
That's right. Why? Because basically Yahweh Shai is coming back to take over. Going back into the book of Daniel, the 7th chapter, when Daniel saw what? How the cast of what?
The
thrones cast down.
Right.
It's the same vision.
Right.
Go ahead, bro.
1 Corinthians 15:24. Then cometh the end when he shall have delivered up the kingdom to the Most High Yahweh.
Through war. Kingdoms are delivered through war. And see, you so stupid. You think that you can get a kingdom by protesting. But meanwhile, Esau takes over these other countries through the act of war. Kingdoms are war for war. Kingdoms are forged for war.
We say we're gonna take the
That's right, huh?
Yeah,
That's right.
we ain't have a kingdom ever been given.
Right, man.
You
We
know
got
what
our
I'm saying.
job to do, man.
That's right.
And it starts right now, man. You know, but it's gonna the kingdom is within us. You got it, bro. So that power gonna be unleashed, man. Go ahead, bro.
What's Cisco album? Unleash the Dragon. I'm doing a lesson on Unleash the Dragon.
1 Corinthians 15:24. Then cometh the end when he should have delivered up the kingdom to the Most High Yahweh, even the Father, when he shall put down all rule.
All rule, the Edomites, okay, and you know all rule, NATO and the EU, right, and the great whore, as well as these dogs that come and lick the wounds of Lazarus. Because all of y'all are in concert with Esau. Go ahead, bro.
When he shall put down all rule and all authority and power, for he must reign.
He must reign. See, two people can't reign at the same time. Two kingdoms cannot reign at the same time. It can only be one.
Till he have put all enemies under his feet.
And who are the Most High's enemies? Esau. Trickling down to these other nations. If you are not an Israelite, by default, you are an enemy of the Most High. And the day of the Lord will validate that.
Back in Revelation 19:12, it says, his eyes were as a flame of fire.
And the reason why Yahweh Shai's eyes is red because he's mad. He's mad as fuck. Go ahead, bro.
And on his head were many crowns.
Right.
And he had a name written that no man knew but he himself.
And only the elect knows the name of Yahweh Shai. And that's spoken of in 1 Corinthians, the 12th chapter. So who makes up the spiritual body of Yahweh Shai? The 144,000. And the 144,000 knows his name. And through prophecy, through the art of teaching and prophesying, we tell the other elect who the names are, or what the names are, through the Spirit of the Most High. And Lord will we are your elect.
Verse 13. He was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood.
That's right.
His name is called the Word of the Most High
And
Yahweh.
this is all symbolic talk, man. Because Yahweh Shah cannot get blood on him because he's the ultimate high priest. Right? He's basically sending laser fire. He's coming back, he's doing a lot of killing.
Right, this represent what it say. By fire and will he plead. See what I go back to it there. You ain't finished there in Isaiah 6. Go ahead though. Go ahead.
Jump on it.
Yeah, get that Isaiah 66 real quick at 15. Cause like the brother was saying, that his robe with a vesture dipped in blood goes to Isaiah 63 too. It goes into how much blood he finna shed, man. You know, go ahead, bro.
Isaiah 66 and 15. For below the Lord will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind.
So this is who the word ignorant called Jesus Christ is coming, man. He coming back for war. He coming back with fire, man. And he would come back with his chariots and fire like a whirlwind. Go ahead.
To render his anger with fury, and his rebuke with flames of fire.
This is how he gonna render his anger. Okay.
For by fire and by his sword will the Lord plead with all flesh, and the slain of the Lord shall be many.
So that's what it means by his vesture dipped in blood. The slain of the Lord is gonna be many, okay? There's gonna be few that be saved and that be destroyed. The disciples kept asking him that, and he kept telling them, look, blessed are your eyes that you see, blessed are your ears that you hear. What wasn't given to them. Go ahead, bro. So this is what it means by a vesture dipped in blood. Because the slain of the Lord gonna be many.
I got it, bro, real quick. Isaiah 63 and 1. Who is this that come from Edom with dyed garments from Bosra?
Why every time you have a shot, get ready to get it in, Edom is the focus.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Esau, Edom is the, who is this that come from Edom, man, from Bosra? You know, go with dyed garments.
That's
Go
right.
ahead.
Yeah, and that shows you those individuals that pierced him were actually Edomites. Right? This that is glorious in his apparel, traveling in the greatness of his strength.
Traveling in the greatness of his strength, because really the heavens, what you know is the heavens, it's going to be filled with chariots. Because like he said, he should send his angels to the four corners of the earth to deliver the elect. It was like he was going into chariots that's going to be emitting from out of the Father chariot, and they just going to fill the whole skies, man. The whole sky is going to be, from one end of the earth to the other, it's going to be filled with chariots, man.
I think about a disturbed ant bed. You know, when you hit an ant bed, all the mans just come out of nowhere, bro. Thousands upon thousands upon thousands.
Fire ants.
Fire ants.
In 2 Ezra 13 chapter, brother was just reading to, how you should be waxed strong with the thousands of heaven.
That's right, bro.
That's how you're going to be traveling with the greatness and strength.
That's right. Right? And wax means what? Increase. Isaiah 63 and back in verse 1. I that speak in righteousness mighty to save. Wherefore are you red in your apparel,
Right.
and your garments like him that tread in the wine fat?
Right, man, because of ancient warfare, you getting in with the sword, you coming through blood all on your garments, you know what I'm saying? You ain't no telling how many, what is that, Saul killed thousands, David killed tens of thousands, man. So Jezebel, remember how, what his name was in the Gladiator? He represented Septimius Severus, though. Remember how he was just going through, Maximus, man? He was just going through with that little mini sword. Oh yeah, it's going down, man. You know what I'm saying? It's going down. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 3. I have trodden the winepress alone,
Right.
and of the people there was none with me.
See? Right.
For I would tread them in my anger, and trample them in my fury, and their blood shall be sprinkled on my garments, and I will stain all my raiment.
Because the slain of the Lord going to be many, man. So like he said, this symbolic talk of how much blood he's finna shed, man. Let's sit on that.
That's it,
No,
bro.
keep going.
Keep going, keep going.
Yeah, oh yeah, you coming in there, bro. Go ahead.
I'll keep on this one.
Go ahead, bro.
Now,
We're
so
gonna go back to that in Revelation. You got Revelation. You go ahead.
Isaiah 34 and verse 6 in the NLT.
Start 5. Read it. Start from where we
Start
stopped
at
at. But I
5.
did want you to go back to that. I didn't forget about it.
Let's go into the KJV then. It says, for my sword shall be bathed in heaven.
Right, so we can't skip that.
Behold, it shall come down on Idumea.
There go Idumea again. There go Edom, man. And his sword that should be bathed in heaven is talking those thermonuclear missiles, man. Go ahead, cause they gonna be flying in the heavens for like they got the hypersonic now, so we'll go from 30 minutes to 15 minutes now. Go ahead, bro.
And also, bathed elder, I looked it up one time, it means saturated.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? If your body is in covered water, your body is saturated in water. So the skies is gonna be saturated with missiles as well.
Like 300 in the year.
Oh my God, yeah. Yeah, that's it.
Air was coming at me.
Yeah, so the sky was saturated with arrows.
Right.
It says, behold, it shall come down upon Idumea and upon the people of my curses to judgment.
See, who is the people of the Lord's curse? Idumea. You can read that in the NLT.
It says, and when my sword has finished its work in the heavens, it will fall upon Edom,
It will fall upon Edom,
the nation I have marked for destruction.
the nation he marked for destruction.
So Edom is marked with death, eh?
Right?
Also in the NLT, verse 6, it said, the sword of the Lord is drenched with blood and covered with fat, with the blood of lambs and goats, with the fat of rams prepared for sacrifice.
We gonna go. That's why we go. What he say? He didn't say a sacrifice in Bosnia. Oh, it's coming.
It's coming.
Yeah, okay.
It said, yes, the Lord will offer a sacrifice in the city of Bosra,
Come.
and he will make a mighty slaughter in Edom.
Talking about America, man. It's gonna be a mighty slaughter in this place. Go ahead.
When I go back in the KJV, verse 7,
Go.
it says, and the unicorn shall come down with them, and the bullocks with the bulls, and their land shall be soaked with blood, and their dust made fat with fatness.
Right, this land gonna be soaked with blood. Go ahead.
It said, for it is the day of the Lord's vengeance,
It is the day of the Lord's vengeance.
and the year of recompenses for the controversy of Zion.
It's the controversy of his people right here, man. You good, bro? Okay. This is for the controversy of Zion right here. No plastic. I got some more.
And then, it said, and the streams thereof shall be turned into pitch. So, and the streams thereof shall be turned into pitch, and the dust thereof into brimstone.
Right, you hear that? That's how hot it's gonna get over here, man. The water is gonna be turned into pitch, and the dust into brimstone, man. It's only one thing on earth that can do that, man. Those thermonuclear missiles. Go ahead, bro.
And the land thereof shall become burning pitch.
This land gonna become a burning pit, and it's gonna prove that America's talking about that is that hellfire that the Bible speaks of. Watch what it say after this.
It shall not be quenched night nor day.
Don't they talk about the hellfire where it says to not be quenched night or day? This talking about that sword coming down on this land, and it's not gonna be quenched night or day because it's gonna burn for a very long time.
And that's what it truly means, everlasting. To be burned for a very long time and continuous to be talked about.
It says, the smoke thereof shall go up forever.
Right.
From generation to generation it shall lie waste. None shall pass through it forever and ever.
And that's literal. That is literal.
Oh, go ahead, bro. That's it, ain't that's it. Or you want to keep going? Okay.
I think you want that revelation.
Finish that in Isaiah here. We're going to go back to
Alright, this is back in Isaiah 63.
break it down. I got something else.
Verse 4. For the day of vengeance is in my heart, and the year of my redeemed is come. Verse 5. And I looked, and there was none to help, and I wondered that there was none to oppose. Therefore my own arm brought salvation unto me, and my fury it upheld me. Yep, so that's pretty much it. Going into Yahushua, the return of Yahushua, and basically how he's infuriated, and he's going to be compelled to bring judgment because of the wickedness of Esau. But at the same time frame, that same anger is compelling him to be mad upon his arrival, man. All right?
Alright, it's Isaiah 13. It says, the noise of a multitude in the mountains, like as of a great people, a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of nations gathered together. The Lord of hosts mustered the hosts of the battle.
Right, so this battle is of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, man. He controlled the whole playing field, man.
And it says, they come from a far country, from the end of heaven, even the Lord and the weapons of his indignation.
Talking about those thermonuclear missiles, man, coming from these different nations, man.
To destroy the whole land.
They say it's even come from the Lord, man, because the Lord, he put it in in minds of these nations to shoot these missiles over here, to even create them, man, to be used to utterly destroy the land of Idumea, man. You know?
The reason being because the king's heart is in the hand of the Lord.
Right.
So he's going to turn it whithersoever he will. It's all about the will of Yahweh Bashim Shai. When you read into Isaiah, I want to say the 42nd chapter, it goes into how my counsel should stand.
And for our people, go ahead, bro. I ain't looking. And for our people, man, ever since America came into power, you've been at the bottom. So when America go down, you coming back up. This is what you have to understand and realize for you so-called Negroes, Hispanics, Latinos, and Native American Indians, man. This is not our rest. This became the land of our punishment. Because once America got established as a power known as America, that's when we went to the bottom, man. Now before then, when we had the Northern Kingdom over here, they was doing their own thing, man. It was fruitful and it was a fruitful civilization. But once it was time for Esau Edom to come back into power, you know, going to Revelations 20, when he was released from his prison, and he went out to deceive the nations in the four corners of the earth, we became at the bottom. We the footstool of everybody, man. So now once the Lord destroyed this place, it's our come up. Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follows.
Say this is not our rest, bro. This
Right.
is Revelation 18:4. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, "Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins,
That's right.
and that ye receive not of her plagues."
Oh, read that in the NLT too, that verse. So go ahead. Bro.
So it said, "For her sins have reached into heaven, and the Most High have remembered her iniquity."
That's right. Read
Reward.
that in your tongue.
Go ahead, I'm gonna read down a little bit. It said, "Reward her, and even as she rewarded you, and double unto her according to her works, in the cup which she have filled to her double."
Right. So that ain't talking about forgiving them right there. You know.
That's
You
somebody
wanna
eye
even-
for eye.
Right. You want to even forgive your own brother and sister, but you want to forgive these other nations, man, who handled you way worse than your brother and sister, man. They handled us as a whole nation, man. They took our heritage from us, man. The only reason why we kill each other really is because of them. We searching for our identity. They taught us you a thug, you a gangster, you this, you that, man. No, we're the Israelites. You know, we the army of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, man. Go ahead, bro.
That's in the NLT, Revelation 18:4. Then I heard another voice calling from heaven, "Come away from her, my people. Do not take part in her sins, or you will be punished with her."
You hear that? Don't be partakers in the wickedness of America, because you're gonna get punished with her. So if you want America to keep going, when the Lord said come out of her, when he start delivering you, that you're gonna be right, he gonna leave you right here. And let you feel that heat, man. Let you feel that fire. You think this summer was summer, just wait till you feel that heat. That day that's gonna burn as an oven. Know how you might burn yourself on the stove and that shit still burning 10 minutes later? Right, see, it's gonna be a million times worse than that, man. You got it, bro.
A million times, man. Because the heat of throwing nuclear missiles is what is about 1,000,000 degrees Fahrenheit. Yeah. It says, "For her sins are piled as high as heaven, and the Most High remember her evil deeds."
So this represents the multitude of her sins, man. They so high, man. Like it say, sky's the limit. This how much wickedness the so-called white man didn't got into, man. This how much wickedness America has pushed around the earth. I say the earth is exceedingly polluted with wickedness via Esau Edom, the wicked, man. The sons of the wicked. Go ahead, bro.
It said, "Do to her as she has done to others."
Oh, I thought we was gonna forgive her. No,
Right.
do unto her as she has. And it's the mindset these other nations in right now, man. They want some get back. You know? Go ahead,
It
bro.
said, "Double her penalty
Right.
for all her evil deeds.
That's right.
She brewed a cup of terror for others, so brew twice as much for her."
Exactly, man. So that's why they started the war on terrorism, man. Cause in their mind, they know the prophecies. They know it's coming, man. They know it's coming. They trying to jump ahead of the game. We're gonna get our soldiers positioned in the Middle East. This part of the prophecy, you big dummy. And you preparing for the belly of Jehoshaphat. And like I said, your allies have deceived you. You know, they have brought you even to the border. They got your army scattered all out, and then they gonna bomb on you. You got it, bro.
Proverbs 16:4 says, "The Lord hath made all things for himself, yet even the wicked for the day of evil."
That's right. The wicked is referring to Esau Edom. That shows you that Yahweh Bashim Shai is all about balance. Because you can't have one without the other. That's right. You gotta have the up and the down, the left and the right, the good and the evil. So in this case, the protagonist in the movie of Yahweh Bashim Shai represents the elect of the nation of Israel, going to Jacob. And what's the antagonist? Esau Edom, man. You gotta have the opposing enemy to the main guy, to to the main character.
Yeah, so the Most High, which further proves he's in control of everything. Right? So this thing is nothing but like a big WWE match. So once the angels get back to the spiritual realm, they are in order. They are in order when they come down from the spiritual realm because they receive the orders from Yahweh and Yahweh Shah. So yes.
Look at the NLT. So the Lord have made everything for his own purposes.
Right, everything is for the purpose of the Most High. Every creation has its own purpose. Okay? Even an ant to a crawfish to an Edomite. Go ahead.
An end to a beginning. Well, a beginning to the end, which, he saw the end, Jacob the beginning, man.
Right.
So it says, even the wicked for the day of disaster. Man.
Even the wicked for the day of disaster. And that day of disaster is referring to the day of the Lord.
It says, the Lord detests the proud, they will surely be punished.
You're right. The Most High is going to punish the proud. And who has the characteristics of being prideful? The Edomites.
And Malachi 4:1 again.
That's
man.
right. Back to Malachi 1 and 4.
That'd be the wicked. But 4:1 saying, that they run.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. I see what you're talking about. Yeah, you want to bring it
Yeah, I
up?
can bring it back out.
You're right though. You're right.
Malachi 4:1. Malachi 4:1 again. It said, for behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven,
And that's the day of the Lord.
and all the proud, all that do wickedly shall be stubble.
Beginning with Esau. Starting with Esau. Right? They should be stubble. Go ahead.
And the day cometh that shall burn them up, saith the Lord of hosts.
Right?
It shall leave them neither root nor branch.
And you know what? It shall leave them root nor branch. If you take out a branch or a root from something, it means it can't grow again.
Kill the whole plant.
You kill the whole plant. So that's what the Most High is going to do to Esau after a lot of time once he takes their kingdom down. He's eradicating the whole plant out of the ground, man.
That's what you gotta do with cancer, man.
That's what. That's right.
Kill it at the
bro.
root. Yeah, you gotta kill it at the root, man.
That's right.
If you don't, it's gonna spread like Esau's wicked his ass.
Yeah.
Going to his westernization.
Yeah. Fuck remission. Esau talking about his cancer's gone and remission. No, you got to cut that shit out, man.
He tried to nuke it. He radiated. You
That's
know what I'm
right.
saying?
When you radiate something, you kill off what the good and the bad shit.
Get that second there.
Go back there in Revelation 19, bro. What you want to do?
No, I was gonna say I can go back. I can go to that 2 Peter chapter 3 and
How much time we got? Yep, that's what we had. That's what I had called for too. 15.
15.
Get the second piece.
2 Peter chapter 3 and verse we started talking. Yep. It said, this second epistle, beloved,
That's right.
I now write unto you, in both which I stir up your pure minds by the way of remembrance.
See, so our pure minds are stirred up now by way of remembrance. Now we remembering everything. We go all the way back to the book of Genesis and remember ourselves, man. We look at the creation story and it all started to come back and make sense to us. Go ahead, bro.
That ye may be mindful of the words which were spoken before by the holy prophets,
That's right.
and of the commandment of us, the apostles of the Lord and Savior.
Because see, even when we read this, nowhere read goes into break it down, re-add, and you just re-add what was already there.
That's it.
Right,
That's it.
right.
That's it,
And
bro.
so the pure mind, because this is information, this energy can never be destroyed. So it's always, that's why it says she entered into the holy soul generation to generation. And when they entered, all they was doing was writing. You said where did the writing come from though? From what they was thinking the inside.
And that's-
Energy was transformed from the mind to on paper. You know what I'm saying? Now it's via the energy of this technology of these tablets or phones, but it still goes back into the energy. Go ahead, bro.
And that started that education process because when it comes to the scriptures, only us can be educated.
Right.
That's it.
It says, knowing this,
Very quickly for y'all. The book of Psalm 68 and 11. It says, the Lord gave the word, great was the company of those that published it.
Hey, those the prophets. 144,000, man. Right? Go ahead, bro. That's it.
Because that's what the Lord said. Heaven and earth pass away. His word endure forever.
That's
man.
right.
It can't be destroyed. Information can't be destroyed, man.
Neither
They can
can
try
spirits.
to, right, they can try to alter and whatever, but it's still gonna come back to its pure form some type of way, man. If it's pure. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Every word of the Most High is pure. So the purity is gonna get the bullshit out the way eventually, man. So
Right.
no matter how Esau tried to alter it and take books away, and your pastors altered and teach different, No, the purity of it is that hey, every word is pure, and this is what you're getting at.
Yeah.
Made me think about Lion King. When Simba, he lost his heritage. He started hanging around with those Gentiles.
Come,
You know, he saw that little wind, which was the spirit.
because
Came right back into the prophet.
Yeah.
the monkey had to prophesy to him. Then was like, "Son, man." What he told? Remember your father. He told, remember your father, man. And then hey, we remembering ourselves. Because it say to stir by a pure mind where it remembers. So we knew this before, man. When did we know?
No, you once knew this.
Right. No, you once knew this. Come on, you go ahead. I was going to say.
I think that stir goes into Quam. Quam is rise. The spirit.
Second Ezra 3:3, it said, knowing this first, that there should come in the last days scoffers walking after their own lust.
That's Peter, right?
2 Peter 3.
Okay, go ahead.
And saying, where's the promise of his coming?
And see, what makes scoffers scoff?
Because they don't have the spirit.
Right, and they want to walk. When you walk after your own lust, you don't want to submit to the righteousness of the Most High. You become a scoffer, man. Whether you know it or not, you can scoff physically, or you can scoff by the way you walk, walking after your own lust by the way you live, man.
They don't have the intel.
Right.
Right.
It says, and saying, where's the promise of his coming? For since the fathers fell asleep, all things continue as they were from the beginning of creation.
And what's the precept? Is it 2 Ezra 15 of how the incredulity?
Yep.
Get that real fast, Elder Squad.
And this is the mindset that all the people are in right now, the majority of our people, the churches, because they don't even talk about when we just come there, you say, Jesus come anytime now. You don't hear no church speaking that no more.
Sure no.
You know?
Sure
You
no.
know, because they don't have the faith. They
You
don't
wouldn't
even
know anyway.
But I'm just saying, you might run into one of these pastors and listen to him, see what he talking about. You know what I'm saying? They don't. That ain't the message no more. The message ain't he coming no more, man. It's just it's just whatever, man. For real. You can tell they don't have the faith. They not looking for him to come.
Yeah. After that, you know what?
Yeah,
You may side your God.
You might see some on the little billboards in the Edomite churches.
Yeah, come.
But with Jake,
See, you saw get into the scriptures though.
And some of them jakes, man.
Yeah,
them
some
jakes,
of them,
yeah. Some of them, a lot of them jakes, man.
a lot of them be saying something.
Yeah, but they don't go into the MOTB. They just say, hey, there's gonna be a tribulation 7 years, and then out of that, here comes the Lord.
I'm like that shit.
Yeah.
All right, so this second Ezra 15:3. Fear not the imaginations against thee.
Yeah, your imagination.
Let's read from verse 1, bro.
Okay.
Second
Okay.
Ezra 15:1. Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of
And
prophecy.
so we supposed to speak to the ears of our people prophecy. Prophecy is located in the scriptures. Go ahead.
Which I will put in thy mouth.
Right.
saith
So
the Lord.
these words are not Salaki, bro. These are not our words. The Most High gives us these words to speak to the people. Go ahead, bro.
It cause them to be written in paper, where they are faithful and true.
Right, and we did that during the ancient times. Right, so no longer do we have to write them down. Now we're reading them off to you.
We're making them plain.
Well,
man.
we're making them plain. That's right, yeah, we're making them plain. That's right, I stand correct.
You good? Nah, that's the same
Yeah,
thing.
you're
It's the
right,
same
you're right,
thing.
you're
Just
right.
add. Just add.
Verse 3. Fear not the imaginations against thee.
Come.
Let not the incredulity of them trouble thee.
Yeah, your lack of faith. So your lack of faith is not going to trouble this brother, that brother, or myself, as long as the Spirit is with us, man. We don't care, because we know with this same behavior, the same mindset, hell, some of our family members can be saved. But most importantly, it's all about us getting saved, because we got to save our own ass. To help them, we got to help ourselves. You know?
That speak against thee.
Right, so we can't worry about whoever speak against us, whatever, man. But
Go ahead. Read the next verse. You got to read the next verse.
Verse 4. For all the unfaithful should die in their
and
unfaithfulness.
that's the point, and that's the non-elect. And you have them characterized as 2/3 in America and the non-elect scattered throughout the four corners of the world, man. You would not be delivered because why? You lack faith. But the scary part about it, the Most High created you to be that way.
By your faith and by your works, you shall be preserved
That's
from
it.
said peril.
That's it. And that's why brothers be so basically on fire to do videos. It's not for man pleasing. No, it's basically so your ass can be saved. Or you got brothers that go out 3 times out the week. Why? Because that brother want to be saved, man. What DMX says, it's not a fucking game. You know? Alright, let's go ahead and wrap it up, bro.
And I go right back into Second Peter chapter 3 and verse 4. It says,
Right.
in verse 5, for this they are willingly ignorant of, that by the word of the Most High the heavens were of old, and the earth standing out of the water and in the water.
So it's the same word from old. Noah was a prophet. It's the same word. And guess what? Go ahead, bro.
Hey, repent or die, man. It says, whereby the world that was then being overflowed with water perished.
Right. That's
But-
the first death. Go ahead.
It said, but the heavens and the earth which are now by the same word are kept in store, reserved until fire against the day of judgment and perdition of ungodly men.
And this is the second death. Go ahead.
It said, but beloved, be not ignorant of this one thing,
That's right.
that one day is with the Lord as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years is one day.
And that's why I said through the spirit of Yahweh Shem Al-Shah there, when Yahweh Shah was crucified, it's only been 2 days. The brother just read the precept. Go ahead, bro.
The Lord is not slack concerning his promise, as some men count slackness.
No, he's not slack. Basically, he's just a man of his word. And things have to be fulfilled, such as prophecies, before the arrival of Yahweh Shah. Go ahead.
But his long suffering towards us were not willing that any should perish, but that all should come to repentance.
And through this long suffering, only the elect will receive his word and be healed. Right? Hey, the non-elect is not going to get it. So when they hear the word, it's for them to be judged. That's just the instructions of the game or the reality of it. Go ahead, bro.
It says, but the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night.
Unexpected. And that's why we're watching. You know, we're watching. And we know that the time frame is close. Go ahead.
In the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise,
Right.
and the elements shall melt with fervent heat,
And that sums up nuclear destruction.
and,
Right?
and the earth also and the works that are therein shall be burned up.
So everything you see in America from these courthouses, churches, homes, rivers, pools, arenas, parks, okay, monuments, so on and so forth, all that shit, including people and animals, will be destroyed.
This place will be left desolate.
That's it.
So when the Bible talk about fire and you go into hell, when it goes into the fire and the judgment, it always be talking about it's gonna be on top of the earth, not under no earth.
That's right.
Ain't no
That's right.
burning place under earth.
Yeah.
Just like this, when the Lord flooded the earth, to destroy the wicked, he brought the flood on top of the earth. He ain't kill them, let them go under the ground and torture them. They just died by a flood. No, it was on top of the earth.
And for you moms that think there's a such thing as a hell, well, dig into the ground.
Right.
Or why the elite have underground bunkers? Why haven't they touched hell?
They did this in hell.
And ain't no
Right.
stories underneath.
That's
Right.
it.
The hellfire, the destruction is gonna be on top of the earth.
That's it.
That judgment is gonna take place on the earth.
Right.
So that lake of fire is gonna be on the earth. This is what he's going into. The elements gonna burn up
That's
with
it.
fervent heat.
So it goes into about death and
Hell
hell
and
should be
death.
cast into a lake of fire.
Right, hell and death
How
should
can
be
you
cast into
cast
the lake of fire,
How
right?
can it be a hell?
Right. I can burn fire with fire. But anyway, Lord will you edify, all praises to.
How
Let's
will
do it
Hashem,
up. Let's do it up. Let's do it up.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
Yahweh, Hashem, Yahushua, Hashem, Rakakadash,
Hey,
the
come
devil
on
us
to
to
the
the
apostle of the
Right.
others. Salutations, you brothers. Shalom.
Oh,